Here's a video tutorial on doing the zipper pocket for your bags. So what I have here is this Swoon Small India, and I went ahead and drew my rectangle. So from the top down to the first line is 1.5 inches. My square is 6 inches long by 1/2 inch. I have my middle line here that I will cut later, and then my 2 V's on either side. So after you get that drawn, you flip it over so that you're looking at the right side of your fabric. The top of your actual pocket piece, it needs to be about 1/2 inch above the top line that we drew of the rectangle. So the top line, remember, was 1.5 inches down. So we want the top of our pocket piece to be 1 inch down from the top. Make sure you get your pocket centered and measure so that the middle is about 1 inch. That's pretty good. Now, pin the very, very, very top of your pocket horizontally. You don't want your pins to get in the way when we sew. Okay, so you'll have this. Now, your fabric should be right side together. Now, you're going to flip it back over, and we're going to sew around the entire triangle, the entire rectangle, but not the middle lines or the triangle. So let's see if I can smoothly move over. Okay, so we're going to sew around the entire rectangle. It doesn't really matter where you start or stop. I already have my zipper foot on. You can use your all-purpose foot for this if you'd like. Oh, I need to change thread. Oh, crap. Let's see. Real fast. Alright, super speedy. Now, back in business. So we're going to sew around the rectangle right along the lines that we drew. Alright, now let's go back over to the table. We have our beautiful square, or rectangle. Oh my gosh, don't know my shapes. So now you're going to flip this back over and fold it in half, and the middle line that we drew along the rectangle at the fold, take your scissors and very carefully snip about 1/2 inch. Open it back up, and you're going to cut along the middle line down to your V, and then snip as close to the corners as possible without cutting your stitches. And do one side at a time to make sure that you're following nice and evenly along your line. Now when you get to your V, cut diagonal as close to those stitches as you can possibly get. And then turn around. Do it for the other direction. Okay, so now what you're going to do is take your pocket, shove it through the hole, and we're going to press this open. So let's go over there and do that. Let's see. Okay. Now I like to start at the bottom here. And I find that it helps, hopefully you can see this. See if I can move my table so we're in the shadow. Okay. Now if I start at the bottom and go ahead and press it back, separate your lining from your main fabric, and do the same thing for the top part. Fold it down and press them away. Okay, so now flip it over. Pull the lining down. So since we pressed it, you should have a nice definite crease between the two. So fold your lining down, and if you want, you can roll the exterior back just a little bit so that your lining doesn't peek through to the other side. It can be a little bit difficult. So give that a really good press. Some steam definitely helps there. Let me hold this up so you can see. And see how I very ever so slightly rolled back the exterior. So now whenever you look at it on the other side, you don't see any lining. So do that for the top and the sides. So pull the top back through. Flip it over. We're going to do the sides in just a second. Go ahead and pull those back. Oh. And give it another really good press on the top. That's fine. Now take your sides and pull them out as even as possible. Let me hold this up. So pull it back. Those you probably won't be able to roll it out. But if you get more than this amount of puckering, go back and look and make sure you snipped as close to the stitches as possible. So that whenever you're looking at the right side, it looks nice. And then press those ends down really, really well. Okay. Now let's move back over and look at our zipper. Now, what I do, glue stick. I have this Kids Disappearing Purple stuff. Whatever works for you. This one seems to be fine because it is washable if you do wash your bags. So I take it and run it along right here on the sides a little bit, and then on the bottom, just in the, you know, quarter, half inch-ish that your zipper is going to go on. Now your zipper. Oh, I like to press my zippers. Let's go back over here for a second. Seriously. So, give this a good press. It straightens it out. both sides, flip it over. Keeps the coils in line. Sometimes whenever you order, you know, if you order in bulk and they come in a big old sack and they've been wadded up for a while, they can get all wonky. And then see how nice and straight that zipper is? Okay. Lay your zipper down. Turn this over so it's your fabric is exterior side up. Now, I'm gonna go over here. Now, this side should be perfectly aligned with the butt end of your zipper. Yes. Now we have glue on it on the other side, so just press this down, line it up. See how pressing our zipper really helps? Now, when you get to the other side, make sure that this is straight up and down. This will lay down over time. Pens help too. I definitely like to pen my two sides here while it's waiting, while it's gluing or drying, while the glue's drying. And I think since this is a little bit thicker, my exterior fabric, I'm going to go ahead and pin these down while it dries. So I'm going to move this back over here and going to pin right here. I want that to stay in place. And I'm going to pin this side. Make sure it's nicely up and down, straightly, that's not a word, straight. And I'm going to go ahead and pin along here. It takes a minute or two for the glue to really kind of dry and stick together. Don't worry, it's not going to mess up your machine or your needle. I have never had any problems. Oh, I don't like the way that pinned. Let's try that again. Now, while you're waiting for the glue to set, you can do something else, you know, add piping to a bag, or if you're doing an India or something else with another pocket, go ahead and prep that pocket. Get it all together, and once you get to that glue stage on the other one, then this one will be ready to go. By the time you're done sewing this one, the other zipper will be ready. Okay, so I'm gonna, ouch. Okay, very nice. Now let's move over. I'm gonna go ahead and sew. Now, whenever I start sewing a zipper, completely personal preference, but I like to start at the zipper end over here at the bottom of the short side and go up all the way around and then down and back over here. Open up your zipper a little bit, you know, quarter, halfway, whatever you like. So make sure you have your zipper fit on, and let's sew this baby together. Make sure that end is perfectly vertical, and you want to sew about 1/8, no more than 1/4 inch away from your box. Go slow, it helps. Nope, not far enough. Okay, so as you can see, I'm getting a little bit of slack as I sew my zipper. So unpin, reposition, making sure you're pulling the top and bottom of that rectangle at the same pace so that the other end is nice and straight. my lining is. There we go. Go slow, reposition. Oh, my machine doesn't like sewing over zipper coils. Make sure your pocket piece is nice and straight. I realize mine is not. Okay, and that's it. You're a beautiful zipper. Oh yeah. Now, I had a really long zipper, so if you do too, just cut it off right, you know, I don't know, ½ inch past. Now what you'll do is take your liner, fold it up onto the top, and you're going to sew, starting at the bottom, up, and then sew across the top and then all the way down. So when you get to the top, as you're sewing up right here, you don't want to catch your bag fabric. You only want to sew through your lining. So make sure that you pull, let me cut my zipper. That you, as you sew up, you're going to fold this out of the way until you get to the top right here. And then you'll sew the top, let me turn it around, pull the top of your bag out of the way, and you're going to sew just along the lining, the pocket piece until you get there. Once again, and then you can flip that up, fold that over, and then you'll sew down the other side of your pocket. That's it.